She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. If you guys have been watching this channel, my channel, I have been talking about a tragedy that just occurred this past weekend in Mexico. A young lady went to Mexico here. This is actually an actual photo of her after being kidnapped. She went to Mexico with 3 of her guy friends. One was a cousin, to go get surgery. She wanted to get a tummy tuck. She wanted to be snatched. And sadly, as soon as they arrived in Mexico, y'all, as soon as they crossed over to the border, the cartel ambushed them, shot up their car. You saw 3 men laying flat on the ground with this young lady sitting propped up, and they were just thrown into the back of a truck like they were animals and driven out of the area. And one Mexican bystander citizen was also unalived too. Well, recently there have been some updates. So the updates are that thankfully there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is this young lady is still alive, and along with Eric Wise or Eric Williams, he is still alive allegedly. He was the one that was injured. He's the guy with the dreads. He was injured allegedly, and they were taken back to America. They're in Texas right now. Allegedly, they're going to be flown back to South Carolina soon, but they're going to have them be treated at the hospital. Definitely, pretty much Eric needs to be treated. The sad news is that 2 of those individuals are no longer with us, and that is Shaeed Woodard and Zindell Brown, allegedly. That is the allegation from some of the individuals that are in Mexico, which I will play that video for you so you can hear from the person that's alleging that he's confirmed this information. But this is an actual photo, guys, of this young lady at the time that she was discovered in Mexico. So you can see on her face that she looks very traumatized, very sad and mortified that this happened to her. You can still see the blonde braids in the back there. So this was her condition after being taken back from those Mexican cartel. They were allegedly found in some type of shed or something. That's where they were discovered. So shocking video of the abduction shows several gunmen in bulletproof vests targeting the white minivan with North Carolina license plates the group was traveling in. So this is true that they targeted that car because allegedly there's indications that if you are American and you drive into this Mexican territory with American license plates, you will be targeted, because it's assumed you have money. So don't drive in that area with American license plates. People who do go there, first of all, you shouldn't be going there. Check the travel advisory. And if it says don't go there, don't go there. In this case, these individuals, I don't feel like they're at fault either way, because the U.S. updated their information during that same exact day when they were traveling to this area. So they wouldn't have even gotten notice that this was a dangerous area, because as sad as it is, the travel advisory was updated this very same day that they crossed into the border. So they wouldn't have even known that it was a level 4 territory, because there's a shooting war going on in that area between 2 different cartel camps. And, they're also targeting any Haitians that come over there to try to sell drugs over there. It's just this big gun battle going on over there. And, if you're an American citizen going over there too, they do also kidnap American citizens for ransom, for money. I think the reason why this young lady was found alive was because of that fact that she is American, and there was that $50,000 award. But again, usually $50,000 is not enough. They usually are asking for more, like $1 million or more. So maybe they were willing to take less this time. But this is good news that 2 of them were alive, and they're now on American soil. So that is a good thing we can say. But McGee, the young lady, she was here going to Mexico to get that tummy tuck surgery on the day that she was kidnapped, according to her mom. And this was the photo here of the actual kidnapping occurring. And I've showed this before on this, so I'm just using this as a review before we get into the new information. So reportedly, the surviving Americans were taken to the border near Brownsville, One of the two survivors is severely injured. That is Eric Williams. He's the one that was shot. The young lady's not shot. So they're now in the border of Brownsville, Texas, in a convoy of Mexican ambulances and SUVs Tuesday, according to the Associated Press. It was not immediately clear if the bodies of the deceased were also being returned to the U.S. So the deceased bodies are still in Mexico right now. They're trying to get those bodies back to the U.S., allegedly. In the chilling footage of the ambush, the unidentified suspects can be seen pushing a woman into the bed of the truck. Two men who appeared either wounded or deceased are then thrown into the same bed. This is like a bad dream you wish you could wake up from, Brown's sister, Zelandria Brown, said of the footage. And Zalandria, I cannot say this girl's name for anything. She was the same young lady that posted on her Facebook that I talked about yesterday, where she was talking about how Zendel was like a not only her brother, but her like a son to her. And she talks about how supportive he was of her when she was diagnosed with some severe medical conditions such as MS, and she got another medical condition. And he was so supportive of her. Oh, she was also diagnosed. I think she was the one that was diagnosed with diabetes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if she was a young lady, but I think she was. And she just said how Zendel was very supportive and just a loving family member. And she had to see him thrown in the back of the truck like that. And she said to see a member of your family thrown in the back of a truck and dragged, it's just unbelievable. One Mexican national was also unalived in the carnage. And then the Mexican president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, said Tuesday that one person was in custody. Meanwhile, gunshots became so intense following the kidnapping that the U.S. consulate issued an alert. The U.S. is still working with Mexican officials to learn more and to have all four victims returned to the United States. National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications. And here is a photo here of the young lady who went to go get that tummy tuck on better days. This is her on better days here. But I'm just glad to know that she's alive and she can still go back home to her kids, y'all. But the sad news is that allegedly Shaeed Woodard and allegedly Zendel Brown are not coming home alive, at least. That is so heartbreaking, guys. Attacks on U.S. citizens are unacceptable no matter where or under what circumstances they occur. And we're going to work closely with the Mexican government to ensure that justice is done in this case. Right now, our immediate concerns are the safe returns of our citizens and the health and the well-being of those who survived his attack. Attorney General Merrick Garland also told the media that the Justice Department was working closely with the U.S. State Department as the incident developed. Okay, so that is the update we have. I do want to play this video for you that is going to give us a little bit more details. I liked the fact that it was a government official giving us the update, more so than a news outlet giving us the update. So let's hear from him. He's going to tell us exactly what's going on. Allegedly. I still got to say allegedly, y'all, because y'all know sometimes. Got to cover yourself.
You to clarify or extrapolate a little bit on what you said about the Mexico. So you're saying that, yes, you have now been able to confirm that 2 of the 4 were killed?
That's correct.
And that the other and that the other 2 are now back in the U.S. The 2 survivors.
The 2 survivors have since been repatriated back to the United States. That occurred with the assistance of our Mexican partners, with the assistance of our officials in Mexico. We are in the process of working to repatriate the remains of the 2 Americans who were killed in this incident.
Okay, so those bodies are not back.
Not yet.
And I understand that the investigation is still early, but do you have any reason to believe that they were targeted?
Matt, just as you said, the investigation is in its earliest days. I understand we may have more to share from the FBI at the appropriate time, but from the Department of State, it's important for us not to impinge on investigative equities, especially in an investigation like this that implicates the kidnapping of 4 Americans, the death of 2 Americans, and 2 Americans who survived what, by all accounts, must have been a traumatic and harrowing experience. So we don't want to get ahead of that investigation. Go ahead.
This is ongoing about Georgia. Have you been following the situation in Tbilisi, Georgia? Since morning, there were clashes between the protesters and the police, and there were clearly an excessive use of military.
for us from Mexico.
So that was the first part of it. The next part of that press conference had nothing to do with the incident. So I'm going to forward that over and talk. This guy right here is really going to give us some details. But as you heard from that government official there, it's confirmed that the 2 deceased bodies are still in Mexico, and they're trying to get those bodies back. It's so sad. And that's the bodies of Shaid Woodard, which is the cousin of Latavia, and sadly Zindell Brown. We didn't even get a photo of Zindell Brown yet, so we're still trying to even get a photo of him. But his sister was the young lady on the, let me see if I can even find her post again, because she was the same young lady that posted about being sad about her brother. And we went on her Facebook yesterday. We found her Facebook, and she was just really mourning. And she kind of said how her brother was like, he was kind of like a son to her, you know. So it's just sad that he's gone. You know, he tried to do something nice, support his friend or family, you know, I mean, you kind of call him a family member, friend, I guess. And this happens to him. I'm just like, dude, this is just unfair. It's so sad, y'all. It is so sad, but at least Eric William, it says Eric Williams was with them. His wife said he was during the kidnap, but I think it's like Eric Williams might be still alive, guys. He might be still alive. It's Zindell Brown who is the one that's alleged to have passed away. And these are all allegations. But let's hear from this individual who's actually confirming this. He's alleging that those are the individuals that are passed away, Zindell and Shaid. So let's hear from him.
Mexico City. Enrique, welcome. So what more do we actually know about the surviving victims from Friday's kidnapping?
Well, we know they were found in a safe house. The investigation is now focusing on that address. We know there are security forces from state authorities, from federal authorities, with the help of the FBI, going through that safe house. The 2 survivors are now in the U.S. That's been confirmed first by local authorities in Mexico. Now we just heard the spokesperson for the State Department, Ned Price, confirmed that information, that they are actually back in the U.S. The bodies of Shaid Woodward and Zindell Brown will be repatriated to the U.S. later today. It's an ongoing investigation, and details are scarce. And I've been trying to make this point over.
So as you heard him, he said it kind of fast. He glossed over it, but he said the bodies of Shaid Woodward and Zindell Brown will be sent back to the U.S. today. So let's hear that again, because he kind of brushed over it, but he's the one that literally confirmed the names of the 2 deceased.
Investigation, and details are scarce. And I've been trying to make this point over and over again, Elaine. Details are scarce because Matamoros has become so dangerous that it's even hard for reporters, for independent journalists to operate there and try to get information.
Enrique, what can you tell us about how these 2 U.S. citizens may have been returned home? Like you said, I know it's hard to get some of the details at this hour, but what are you hearing?
Well, what we know is that they were transported from Matamoros back to Brownsville, Texas, in a vehicle. And then apparently, plans are that they'll be flown back to South Carolina. Again, that's not information that I've been able to verify independently or confirm with more than one source, but that's what we heard, that once they were found, that they knew they were stable in terms of their health condition, that they were able to repatriate them back across the border to Brownsville, Texas. And from there, I'm guessing they'll be evaluated again by doctors on the U.S. side of the border, and then flown back to South Carolina, back home, Jericho.
And Enrique, what more can you tell us about just that area where this kidnapping took place? Matamoros, you touched on how violent it is. And what more are we learning about how things unfolded Friday night and then in the days that followed?
On Friday night, what we saw was widespread violence in Matamoros, rival groups fighting over control of the territory. Matamoros is not just one of the most dangerous cities at the U.S.-Mexico border, but really one of the most dangerous places in the world. And that's because these drug cartels that are also in the human trafficking business have become so powerful, and that's where the paradigm of co-responsibility really comes in. And it's important for us as journalists to emphasize this. The guns that these cartels are using are coming from the US. The cash that's fueling this power, the power to corrupt officials and act with impunity, is also coming from money laundering, mostly in the US. So both countries really have to fight to end the cycle of violence and address and acknowledge this reality.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a harsh reality when you put it like that, and you make those types of connections. What actions are Mexican authorities taking as the investigation into Friday's kidnapping continues?
I think when you look at it from the Mexican perspective, of course, they want to find out what happened, if there was a confusion, if they were targeted. It seems, because of what we've heard so far, that these 4 American citizens were caught in the crossfire and were held in the confusion. Initially on Friday.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop him right there. At first, I was with him until he said that. I do not believe for anything that they were caught into a crossfire, guys. I don't believe that. I think that they were targeted because they had those American license plates. They were targeted and kidnapped because they were coming in that place with those American license plates. There has already been indications that, you know, you go to that area and you have any American license plates, they're going to target you. Who are they shooting at? The only person that was killed outside of those 2, Shahid and Zindel, was this Mexican bystander. So who are the other parties they were shooting at? There is no other party. So it appears that the North Carolina or the South Carolina citizens that were driving into that area were the targets. That's just my opinion. I was with him the whole time until he said that. But basically, he gave us some good information. That's why I wanted to play his the part of the footage there, because he really did explain and give us at least the identities of the 2 alleged victims that are now deceased. Zindel Brown, may he rest in peace, and Shahid Woodard. Their bodies are still expected to be sent back to America soon. So this is just heartbreaking, y'all. It's just sad, but at the same time, it's good news that 2 of them are still alive. It looks like these 2 are still alive, allegedly, that Eric Wise, and who was severely injured. So he's not out the cuts yet. He's still trying to get healed. Or is this Eric Wise? Sorry, that's the wrong person. Oh my God, I'm getting all these people wrong. I think this is Eric Wise, guys. This is the one that's alleged to still be alive. Sorry, guys. Pray for a sister. This is Eric Wise. He is, guys, I'm getting all the names wrong. I'm getting all the names wrong. They said Zindel and Shahid Woodard is the ones that are said to be passed away. So which one is Eric Wise, y'all? Isn't this Eric Wise? Oh my God, I'm getting the pictures wrong. I think he was, because this one is unknown. That one was Eric. They don't know who Zindel is. That's my homie for real. We always getting grassy. So what is his name? Is this the guy that's tell me in the chat, y'all gonna help me? Oh, he might be the one. I think he might be Shahid Woodard. Is this the guy, guys? Let me know. U.S. government was smuggling semi-truckloads of weapons. Okay. I think, you guys, he might be the let me make sure I get these names right, because I'll be over here. Shahid Woodard. Is that his name? Okay, I'm gonna do Eric Wise, because Eric Wise. Let's go to the post here, because it's alleged that Eric Wise is still alive, and it's alleged. These are all alleged. Eric Wise is allegedly still alive, and allegedly Latavia is still alive. Shahid is not pictured. So is this? So they're saying Shahid Woodard is not pictured in Zindel. Is this Zindel Brown? No, this is not Zindel Brown. 4 citizens were kidnapped by Gulf Cartel after they crossed. The American citizens are 32-year-old Latavia, who's still alive, allegedly. Zindell Brown, rest in peace. Shaeed, rest in peace, 33, and Eric Williams Wise. They are from South Carolina. So we went over all these individuals yesterday, y'all. These names got me all jumbled now. But just may Shaeed and Zindell rest in peace. We still don't have a picture of, oh yeah, because North Carolina Beat gave us all the names. I think this is Eric Wise right here. Right here. That's what I think, because, so this must be, who is this guy then? Y'all let me know in the chat. Yeah, so 2 have been found deceased, y'all. It's Shaeed and Zindell, allegedly. And so thank God she's still alive, though. She's still alive, thank Jesus. But, and so her kids still have their mom. But this is still sad that they died, man. That's messed up, y'all. That is messed up. So she's still, oh, this was her that was going to get her tummy tuck. People saying some stuff in the chat. They need to stop. Eric Wise, Elijah. Okay, look like she tagged him here. Is that Eric Wise? I don't know. But at least we know who the individuals are, y'all. We don't have to get the pictures of Zindell later on down the line, because that was the only picture allegedly that is still missing. So may Zindell and Shaeed Woodard rest in peace. They are saying that Eric Wise is still alive. Let me see if I can find any more information for y'all. And that they are headed back home. So that's one good news. Okay, here it is. Thank God he got the pictures. Okay, we got the photos, y'all. Thank you to our lovely North Carolina Beat. They are always on the works, y'all. So he gave us the picture of Zindell. Zindell's right there. He has passed away. May he rest in peace. So Latavia is still allegedly alive. Eric Wise is allegedly alive. Shaeed Woodard and Zindell, these are the 2 that are alleged to have passed away, y'all. So this is so sad. This is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. May he rest in peace. We finally got a picture of Zindell here, y'all. And Shaeed, we had a picture of him. He is alleged to not be with us, but I remember him when they were putting the bodies into the back of that truck. And I remember the dreads just flopping like a doll. We talked about that during my first video, where the head was just flopping like it was a doll or a mannequin. And that was Shaeed, that they kind of were like just propping around like a doll. And I was like, man, whoever that is, that's got to be somebody who's not alive. And that was Shaeed Woodard. So this is just heartbreaking. My soul is so sad to know that 2 of these individuals died, Zindell and Shaeed. And I just really, you got to think about it. It's not really their fault, to be honest, because the travel advisory wasn't even updated yet. It wasn't updated until sometime later, until the very day that they were driving into the area. So they wouldn't have even known even if they did search. So, man, may they rest in peace. We at least have the photos up here. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit for you guys to see those photos of the victims. Maybe the same dude. It's the hat, glasses. Yeah, girl, I was getting the names wrong. Sorry about that, guys. We got a little bit of catch up there. A little twist going on right there with the names. Benjamin said, hey, I'm a bit upset this took so quick while we're still waiting for Shinquella. I bet if it was election year, this would have not taken this long. Exactly, Benjamin. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like, what's going on with Shaquella Robinson? We have a whole video and they still haven't resolved it. This is unacceptable. I don't find anything excusable at this point. So I'm with Benjamin on that. But may Zindell and Shaeed rest in peace. This is heartbreaking. Shaeed died. Dang. Shaeed is alleged to have been Latavia's cousin too. So she lost her cousin and one of her friends. So that's just messed up, y'all. So messed up. And it appears as though Eric Wise Williams is still in the hospital. He's got some pretty severe injuries. That's what they're claiming. So y'all just pray for these families. This is a very heartbreaking situation. We've got some good news, yet some terrible news that 2 of them are not coming home alive. All right. Sending love to you all. Take care, guys.